Does your child have limits? Has your child ever embarrassed you? Who has never been in an embarrassing situation because of a lack of boundaries? Let's talk about this, and first of all, I want to ask you to like our video. This way he can reach many more people, and many more people will be able to benefit from our discussion and participate as well. I am Andrea Ramal, a doctor in education. I have a lot of experience in school, university, and even teacher training, and I believe I can bring some ideas for us to discuss such an important topic. Why is it so challenging for parents to establish boundaries for children? I think one of the factors is the feeling of guilt. Parents often feel guilty for various reasons. For example, fathers and mothers work all day, and when they come home tired in the evening, they feel obligated to spend time with their son. However, they find themselves having to say no and forbid him from doing certain things, which adds to their guilt. Or parents depart early, leave the child in a daycare or preschool, and then they express, wow, I am going to be away from him all day. He is going to be here with a teacher, a psychopedagogue, a psychologist, and me, when I come to pick him up and when I have my time with him, it is me who will have to establish a boundary, inform him not to engage in certain activities. Or even children of separated parents, whom we sometimes see the mother leaves at the father's house for a weekend, a day, and then the father doesn't establish any limits because he thinks, well, he already stays without me for so long, and now am I going to say no? It is better for him to have a positive experience when coming to my house. However, parents do not realize that this guilt of saying no can ultimately have the opposite effect. It can end up uneducating instead of helping their child to develop. See the following: there are many parents who are afraid of causing crying, of causing sadness. I have observed many parents stating this: let's do it, let's grant his wish, otherwise he will make a scene and then everyone will be watching closely. Witness this, parents who observe their child and say, oh, poor thing, and here comes the magical word that cannot happen, which is that. Let's simply leave it this time. Only this time, it starts to open these gaps, causing your son to begin to notice, oops, surprisingly, this time it actually worked out. In the future, I will exert more effort to determine if I can once again obtain what I desire. And that's where you begin with these loopholes to create behaviors that later become hard to control. One justification that I also see happening is parents saying, oh, but if I tell my child to be full of respect, to wait for his turn and let others go first, will my son not make a fool of himself? He will be the only one who will be left behind while everyone else obtains what they desire. I've seen this happen on several occasions. Imagine, for example, at the cinema, even though people line up to enter when the door opens. It's that rush, the kid's going to get their place first. And the worst part is I've seen many parents saying, come on, my son, go run there to get the best chair. And it goes in front of the elderly, it goes in front of people with disabilities. It seems that none of this matters as long as he has an advantage. Have you ever considered the type of education you provide your child if you let him do this kind of thing? Another example, a recent case, I attended a children's party with a beautiful cake adorned with strawberries. The children were eagerly waiting for the congratulatory moment, each one anticipating their own piece. And then I saw a child who simply, when he received his plate, started removing each little strawberry from the cake decoration, putting everything on his own plate. Children there looking, saying, wow, what now? I'm going to run out of strawberries. What can I do? Already started a stress. And the mother, in the meantime, expressing the following, oh, look at how much he enjoys eating strawberries. Oh, he must be enjoying this pie, packed with the fruit he adores the most, without realizing that at that particular moment, she was reinforcing an attitude of not thinking, not empathizing with others, of disrespecting the other colleagues and friends who were present at that moment. Then when you talk to the parents about why they do this, this justification that I mentioned to you comes up. Ah, but if I continue telling him to depart from the others and then he departs, then he will be the fool, he will be exploited. Who said, who said that's going to happen? I ask you, what kind of adult do you want to become? Do you desire that adult individual who exploits every opportunity? Do you wish to strengthen the notion that they are a domineering supervisor, a spouse who solely seeks the fulfillment of their own desires? That, let's say, spoiled adult, will this particular individual be happy and find contentment? Probably not very happy, because she ultimately transforms into a somewhat unbearable individual. She desires to be the center of everything. She always wants to be in first place. She believes everyone should love, care, and give attention to her, but she doesn't owe anything to anyone. And here come the frustrations, because no one can tolerate a reality like this, and also arrives potentially a certain sense of rejection. People will not appreciate a spoiled adult like that who only thinks about themselves. Now, where is this built? It is in the small things, in childhood, in that moment of that children's party. It is in that moment of entering the cinema. It is that moment of you saying, wait a minute, my child, let's think about others. Let's see what is the limit that you have to put in your attitude so that everyone can live in a peaceful, respectful, fair way. It is referred to as civility. It is referred to as empathy. And then I inform you of something. It is not beneficial to let these moments go by and then believe that you are providing a valuable education in any manner because you invest a substantial amount on textbooks, school, English classes, and certain sports. So I ask you, you spend so much and you're going to discard it by giving this example that you can do anything, go ahead of others, take what belonged to others just for yourself. Don't you think it's kind of contradictory if you do that? So in fact, you will be wasting time when you invest in it on one hand and fail to do your part as a mother, as a father, as a family member who can set certain limits and can make a child develop much more according to a different ethic, becoming an adult capable of transforming the world, making the world a more pleasant place to live. And where is the place of the initial formation of all this? In the family. In the example that parents can give soon after at school, the school can reinforce this family work, both working together for it to work, for there to be coherence between one and the other. And that is the question of small gestures. Do not miss the opportunity to educate, regardless of how small the situation. And that's the tip I want to leave for you in this video. Take advantage of every moment to educate, no matter how small. Avoid reinforcing an idea of what you do not want to be the future of your child.